What we really wanted to do was to give people a chance to see you, because we know that the portrayal is going to be, or has tried to be, he's just some guy down here who's doing some carpentry shit or whatever, and we had to get him out of there. So we wanted to expose the fact that you're actually like a craftsman. And you had a lot of valuable equipment down there. They gave you no time to get out. They didn't help you at all with getting out, and you've been pretty much ever since then. And nobody has really stepped up and extended a hand. So,
no.
Yeah. So that's the story we want to get out, you know. And I think we're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got some good stuff going on.
Okay, I'm here today with Patrick Fagan. Good to meet you, Patrick.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How's things with you?
Yeah. Oh, could be better.
Could be better. I guess I understand where you're coming from with that regard. You had a little issue with the city, my understanding is. You were located at one time in the 615 Marquette Street property?
Correct.
And that is, it's adjacent to Machinery Row.
Yeah, top of the hill there.
Yeah, that's one of the buildings that was bought because, because it was so close and the city felt they were getting a bargain, and it was part of the property that Rick Olson owned. He owned 3. In order to buy the one that was for Machinery Row, they had to buy the other 2.
The phase 2 section.
Yeah, and you were there, and you had a cabinet shop there, didn't you, or something?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. What kind of work did you do?
Restore antiques, make custom cabinets, a variety of different work. I also.
Wow. So when did you first find out that the city wanted you out of there?
Well, it hadn't been announced yet with me in the building I was in, because they were in phase 1, which was the 900 building on Water Street and the 820 and the Azarian area. So I didn't get any type of notice that I had to go anywhere yet.
And in fact, phase 1 is nothing's ever really happened with it. I mean, it's not gotten anywhere. So, but they were concerned about you as somebody that would be in the way of phase 2, which was like way down the road, and they got kind of aggressive with you. Is that my understanding? They were like anxious to get you to leave, and they made no bones about it from what I understand.
My lease was good till the middle of the following year.
You had a lease that you signed with Rick Olson, right?
Correct.
10-year lease?
Well, it was a yearly lease, and I had been there for a period of 10 years, but if either one of us wanted to break the lease, we had a 60-day advance notice clause that if either one of us were not happy, we'd
part company.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when they came and ran you out of the place, basically, your lease was still in effect. Am I understanding that correctly?
That's correct. I had it until June of the following year, which would have been 2016, and I vacated 6 months early due to the harassment.
Yeah. And did they actually give you 60 days to get out of there?
60 days notice or 60 days to get out of there?
Well, either one.
Well, what they did is they pressured the owner, saying that they would not close on the property if I was in the building.
Oh, okay. And of course, he's motivated to sell. He wants to get paid and get out of there.
Absolutely.
So you're basically the guy that preserved some of that property down there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I just want to make sure, and that's why we're talking about this stuff. I want to make sure that people out in the public understand that you weren't just some bum that was hanging out down in the building. No. I mean, you were like
I did all the snow removal.
Yeah. I mean, you were the guy that took care of the buildings on top of trying to run a business.
They wanted to close in December. Well, they wanted to close numerous times, but the option kept getting extended because I had too much stuff. I had 25,000 square feet occupied in machinery, products, doors, windows, material, lumber, tooling, hardware.
I've seen some of the pictures of it. It's pretty
extensive.
Pretty extensive collection. In fact, you did eventually end up moving it out, and from my understanding, you've got like 8 semi-truckloads.
Yeah.
50-foot trailer trucks. 53 feet.
53 foot, and I got a ground storage container. 45 feet. I got most of my machinery in that.
This is one trailer that I have some of my
Well, you got to
stuff in.
keep all this stuff secure, right? You got
Yeah,
a total of 8 of these?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
8.
I
Let's
have,
go take a gander at another one. How long have you actually had all this stuff here? When did you first move it here?
well, I started bringing it here the first month that I was taken out of the 615 Marquette
It was
warehouse.
December of 2015, was it?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I couldn't get the stuff loaded fast enough, so I had to put some stuff at a different location that in Racine by Sam Azarian's Marina.
Right.
Not even ready. You don't know how fucked up I am right now. By all the fucking bullshit, stress, non-stop running all fucking day.
I have 2 fork trucks, and I told you I had problems with one, and then I had problems with the other one because it's in the situation it's being stored outside over the winter. It's kind of hard to work on things when you get. I know we didn't have a lot of snow this year, but the year before we had quite a bit, and I'm out of money, so I have to pretty much operate out of this.
Have you been able to do any of your cabinet making at all since you?
No.
Nothing, huh?
All my machinery is up in the front of this,
Yeah.
and I had to unload quite a bit of it and put in some of the and get additional trailers.
Yeah, 8 boxes like this.
This one's 45 foot. The
Hey,
trailer-
how much time did you actually do this in?
Well, I loaded 3 semis as fast as I could in the last 30 days. That the city kicked me out of the building in December. I couldn't load the stuff fast enough to make the city and the owner of the building happy, so I had to take stuff to another location down the street in Racine and put it outside and put tarps over it and try to police it best I could to keep from having it stolen or towed away or removed from the city or whatever. I had to pretty much live on premises
Right.
to keep an eye on it. So then my stuff is in Kenosha and Racine, 2 different cities, and it's kind of hard to run a business from 2 different city locations that you're
Yeah.
in trailers with no power.
I want to talk to you about your business a minute when we get done looking at some of this stuff and explain to people what it was that you were doing down there. And,
Right.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's an interesting story. It's not a,
For somebody, it's
not a very
interesting.
happy one, but I mean, I'm sure people are going to be interested in hearing what happened.
Sure.
So, yeah, we'll go through that.
Sure.
So, how did you get all that stuff moved? I mean, did the city provide you some assistance there at all?
No, there was no assistance. I didn't talk to anybody about any help of any type. I think I made 54 trips one weekend alone just on getting my stuff out of the building down the street, because after I had purchased 4 semi-trailers, I ran out of money. So I leased some other trailers from a friend of mine that owns a trucking company, and I couldn't have them on the property because it was one of the agreements that I had to get all my stuff out of the building. So I had to take my stuff down Water Street to the property that Rodney Blackwell had purchased and put my stuff outside.
Are you saying that they wouldn't even allow you to have the trailers on the property that you were moving the things from?
And it was easier, to tell you the truth, to take the stuff down the street and organize it from.
You ended
a
up
level
moving it out of the building over to these...
2 blocks away.
Oh my God. And this was all after they finally convinced you that, you know, your time is limited here, pal. Out you go.
Well,
so then you took on this big moving project. They offered no help whatsoever, no financial assistance or anything, but did they, I understand they had a supervisor there watching you move, but he was...
Yeah, every day he would
You just come and see and watch you?
Come and see how far I am, the progress that was being made daily.
Yeah.
And one day we even caught him stealing stuff.
Nice. Jeez. How many square feet did you actually occupy over there in Racine?
25,000. I had 15,000 upstairs on the 4th floor, and then 12,000 square feet on the first floor, garage access to the elevator, so I would be able to bring tooling, material, stuff upstairs to my shop upstairs on the 4th floor.
Yeah, it's a good lot of space.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to find something that's suitable that's got that kind of space to offer.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
Yeah. Are you hoping to get back into cabinet making?
Well, I wanted to originally when I ended up coming here. Yeah. But it's pretty much exhausted me. I just am burned out by the whole thing. I don't know what I want to do now. What are my options? I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. For the viewers out there, a lot of people have, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people. I've read a couple of remarks like you're just some guy that's hanging out just building stuff and you're getting free rent over there at the...
Absolutely not.
I know that's absolute malarkey because I've seen your work. I know you did some work in the home of some friends of mine. It was just outstanding cabinetry.
Yeah, I did it through another cabinet making company, but I did the work.
Right. And I know you did a lot of work for Fisk Johnson. I mean, he's not a guy who's going to shop at Kmart. You know,
I worked for 3 businesses in Racine, and one of the things I did was the Drager Langdorf Funeral Home millwork package.
Right.
I also did Fisk Johnson's credenza and kitchen next to his office in B36 of Johnson Wax Facility. And then I did some stuff in Wind Point.
Yeah, those are friends of mine. I know them and I've seen the work personally and even used it to a degree. But, you know, what happened here is somebody who was really an accomplished craftsman was kicked out of his facility unceremoniously. Just get your stuff out, and you received absolutely no compensation.
No.
You received no help moving your stuff.
Well, I had to get friends of mine and pay people to help me.
Well, by help,
out of my own pocket.
No assistance from the people that were telling you to move.
No.
I mean, they certainly no physical help and no financial help either.
The owner of the building helped me as much as he could.
Yeah.
You know, he helped me as much as he could. I'll put it that way. But it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know.
So somebody who had a good business going, who was providing good products, and he's basically removed from the economy. And it's a damn shame. And what is the new? Rodney Blackwell is the new, correct?
Correct.
And what has Rodney Blackwell done?
Well, the first meeting
to preserve or to keep those buildings intact, or to repair them, or to develop them, or anything. Go ahead.
The first meeting I had with Rodney, he pulled up and observed me on Sam Azarian's area or property, and he asked me what I was doing there, and I said I had to vacate a building at 6:15. I couldn't get out fast enough, and I explained to him that I was a cabinet maker for 30 years, and that I had every tool he would need: planers, shapers, saws, every tool that we could have done an in-house millwork to restore anything that he wanted to do, anything that projects. I told you I had $20,000 worth of shaper cutters. I could match any profile of architectural molding that you would pick out, you know what I mean? And I could duplicate it. And
how did he respond to your offer?
Do you want me to use his exact term?
Yeah, we can edit it if we need to.
Well, he said, I don't give a fuck who you are or what you can do, but get the fuck off of my property. That's what he said to me, and I said, I'll get off as fast as I can. That's about all I said, because I was in shock, first of all, that somebody would take that outlook when I offer, you know what I mean, to help him in the situation.
Right.
And I don't. From day one, I never really felt that he was full-heartedly in this for doing any kind of a project.
You're not alone in that suspicion.
Yeah, I said it on day one that he ain't gonna do anything with this.
Yeah.
And this just echoed that feeling. And
day one, here we are. What? 2 years later?
Yeah.
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 But a lot of people were claiming, this is the greatest thing that's ever going to happen to Racine. And it's,
I didn't feel that way.
yeah. Well. Now, somewhere along the line, you discovered that the city was actually responsible for lending you assistance in moving and compensating you for having to move. Is that correct?
A year and a half after the fact.
Yeah. But they never gave you any kind of information about that.
No.
And there actually is a state statute that they're required when somebody's being relocated under the circumstances that you were relocated. There's a state statute that requires them to notify you that there's assistance available.
When I called the state in regards to the relocation issues, the person that answered the phone said I needed to speak with the department head, and that person had taken a temporary leave of absence, and she took my information, and I got a call back the next day from an investigator from the department administration, and I explained my story, and she suggested that I fill out a relocation complaint, and we'll take it from there and see what it consists of. So I filled out the paperwork and emailed it to her, and she received it, and we did several telephone interviews as well as the complaint that I filled out, and she sent it to the city, so the city is in receipt of it. The way I understand it, the city was not even supposed to be allowed to purchase the building without relocation plan being in effect and it all being orchestrated before they can even buy the property.
So, I mean, who is all involved in it? I see some of these emails here. I see one from Judd Wyant here. He's Rick Olson's attorney. Rick Olson was your landlord. Judd Wyant was his attorney. And the very first line of this email is, "Get Fagan out immediately. I spoke with Tom Friedel. The city is quickly losing confidence and has made reference to terminating the contract." I assume that's about buying the property.
Right.
Yeah. Elaine Eakes, she was an
private attorney that
she was hired
by the city.
Yeah. She called about you, and apparently you spoke with Alderman Jeff Coe.
I talked to Jeff Coe, and he said I was good to stay there until my lease expired. Don't worry about it. And I even talked to Tom Friedel 2 or 3 times, trying to get him to extend this deadline so that I could...
at least have a comfortable move, huh?
Right, correct.
Well, and this is let's see, one is forwarded here and the other is the actual message. But it doesn't matter who it went to, apparently. Elaine Eakes called about your tenant. Okay, so this is a letter from Friedel to Rick Olson. You spoke with Alderman Coe, who has no authority. Elaine spoke with Tom Friedel. He has absolutely no desire in inheriting the tenant, you. Apparently the tenant told either Coe or Tom that he will not be on the property. He's been in there for 10 years. He has 25,000 feet space utilized and cannot possibly be out by a month. So at least somebody understood that it was a damn difficult move. Apparently they didn't have much sympathy for that fact, but they did understand it. Pretty amazing. It's fascinating that they would leave a paper trail like this when they're basically violating state statutes. Okay, now in conjunction with that complaint, one of the things that apparently came up was the city told the gal up at the state that they were unaware of the fact that you a tenant down there?
That's totally false.
Yeah.
Jeff Coe, the alderman, has been in my shop. Tom Friedel, I spoke with numerous times in regards to my situation, and he wouldn't allow me to stay till my lease expired. Mayor Dickert himself came down and asked what I was doing down by the river, packing up my stuff, and started asking me who dismantled a crane apparently that was on the property. And I said, I don't know anything about a crane. I said, I'm the guy from the top of the hill that you guys kicked out of the building over there. And you wouldn't let me stay. So, I mean, Mayor Dickert knew of the situation, Tom Friedel knew. Jeff Cole told me that I was to be able to stay until my lease expired. And
Well, just these emails too. I mean, the fact that Tom Friedel knew, I mean, and the attorney's office knew.
I didn't really know anything about emails until after I was gone, and some of this stuff came to light after I was already out of the building. So, I mean, if I would have known that, maybe it would have helped me at the time, but it's a little bit water's under the bridge now.
Yeah. Well, it's under the bridge, but the creek is still flowing.
Yeah.
So, what do you plan on doing in the future? Are you going to restart your business? Have you got?
I'm bankrupt right now, and all my stuff is in trailers. I have no money for renting a place, or, I mean, even if I wanted to auction off my stuff, I have no way to do it. Everything's in trailers. It's just I'm in a hard spot.
Yeah. And it's all a result of the way the city mismanaged a relocation project for somebody who was a tenant in property that the city was in the process of buying. So there's other instances of this. I want to thank you, Patrick, for bringing that information to light.
Well,
and
thank you.
We're going to talk to some other people too that have had experiences with the city in relocation. So take care. We'll talk to you soon.